Alright, so hopefully my computer can handle exporting a podcast while recording a new podcast and being connected to the internet and having an open Word document for our notes for the show.
I think you can handle it.
What's all that?
That was you talking.
You're laughing?
Fine. Hello and welcome to Over the Wall episode Doesn't Matter because we skipped a whole bunch of episodes.
Yeah.
Some stuff came up and we weren't able to record an episode for a couple weeks. But what a week to come back on.
Yeah. We kind of.
There's not a whole lot to talk about in this episode.
No, it's kind of a very boring, very just kind of episode.
Yeah, we're going to talk about episode 8. You know, 8's the one before 9. 9's always the really best episode of the season. And so 8 was kind of mediocre.
Yeah, it kind of really sucked a lot, actually.
This is boring as fuck.
Okay, we're kidding. It was fucking awesome.
It was, like, what the fuck?
Episode 8 is titled Hardhome.
Yeah.
Tell us about Hardhome, Chad.
Like
reader
place,
of books.
The place?
Yeah.
It's a medium place for wildlings to go to. It's on the sea. It's like a port kind of place.
Mm-hmm.
And in the books, well, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what we're talking about today. Episode 8 of Season 5 of Game of Thrones. We are Media Maniacs. I don't think I said that. My name is Brendan.
Chad.
I'm Mike.
Ha.
Yeah, and so if this is the first podcast you've listened to from us, then
You need to
welcome.
Yeah, and welcome, and you need to go back to the beginning.
Yes, and go back and listen to our other Game of Thrones podcasts. We have a couple recaps. We have some stuff for Season 5. We also have our Maniac Attack podcast, which is just about video games, movies, and TVs, and Mike's dating life.
Yep.
And if this is the first podcast you've ever listened to, then I'm sorry.
We won't... Yeah, we've never... After we did the first episode, we haven't said spoilers. Because you need to go back to the beginning.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, spoilers, I guess.
No, we don't say spoilers because they gotta go all the way back to the beginning.
Alright, well,
Okay,
whatever.
Yeah.
We're going to spoil the 8th episode, so if you haven't watched it, then go watch it. And don't just, randomly watch episode 8. Watch the whole season, too, because that's important.
I mean, that's pretty obvious, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go through the episode by character, starting with Dany and Tyrion,
Yes.
who have finally met up. So
Yeah.
Jorah kidnapped Tyrion, and Jorah got infected with grayscale,
Yep.
and then they got kidnapped by slavers, and then they happened to fight in an arena where Dany was, and then Jorah and Tyrion were like, sup.
Someday.
And so last episode ended with them meeting.
Yeah, episode 7 ended with
Yeah.
Tyrion being like, I'm Tyrion Lannister.
This doesn't happen in the books yet.
Nope.
In the books, Tyrion becomes a slave,
He's a slave.
and that's it.
But yeah, at the end of book 5, he becomes part of a mercenary group.
Cool.
Yeah, so...
I can't see him as a mercenary.
A mini mercenary.
Well, I mean, like, kind of like a leader, kind of like not like a fighter, but
Okay.
like a general, if you will.
Yeah,
But so this is all new territory.
It is, and it's cool, and I'm sure something very similar will happen in book 6, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Because I would assume that the Dany and Tyrion relationship is very pivotal to how the series continues towards its ending.
I would hope so.
Because, as we know from Varys, from past seasons, Tyrion is the only man who could change Westeros, and Dany is the only woman that can change Westeros.
Yeah.
So together, they're kind of a powerhouse.
Yeah, but...
Or so we hope.
Well, yeah. Well, Tyrion's kind of like... You really want to take the Iron Throne? Like, why?
Yeah, why?
Yeah.
I just left that place. It fucking sucks.
Yeah, right. So he wants to advise her in how to rule, but he wants to stay in Slaver's Bay.
Yeah, to stay Marine. Yeah.
And he also doesn't think that she's a very good leader because of, I don't know, she's been executing people and not absorbing their traditions.
Yeah.
She's kind of like a dictator almost. And so he's like, I'm going to help you learn how to rule. And then he also mentions, like, if she does ever get to Westeros, if they do go to Westeros, she doesn't know anything about Westeros, and he knows everything.
Yep.
So it would be to her benefit to let him advise her.
Yeah.
And she's skeptical because he's a Lannister.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But he's like, no, I killed like all of them.
Yeah, he killed
his dad, his mom. So he's like,
and it's funny because they do end up warming up to each other.
yeah,
But it's funny because Tyrion says that the only person he trusts is his brother, and his brother is the guy that killed Dany's dad.
yeah,
So that's
Kingslayer.
an odd predicament.
yeah. We'll see how it goes.
God, I'm excited for episode 9 though. After
Yeah, it's it's in a cool place here now. I'm excited that things are kind of happening.
Yeah, and so Dany decides to let Tyrion advise her, and she asks him what to do with Jorah. And he's like, don't kill him, but exile him.
Yeah, because like you have to be true to your word.
again.
Yeah.
So he gets exiled again, and he goes and joins the slaves again.
Yep.
And they're like, you're a free man.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
But his time is coming to an end.
Yeah. I mean, he's gonna die soon. Well, maybe not die, but he'll become a stone man soon.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, I might as well do what I can now.
Yeah. So we don't really know what his plan is. He doesn't get grayscale in the book, right?
Nope.
So, yeah, we don't know where that's going.
No, if he was infected, because when they showed that he was infected with grayscale, couldn't he have cut his arm off?
Like in The Walking Dead?
Possibly. I mean,
But that would be suspicious.
I mean,
I lost my arm in battle.
we haven't really been told like how you can beat grayscale because like Stannis' daughter, like they were able to stop it without having to cut off the infected area.
Yeah.
But I don't really know how that happens.
Right.
So
What if his hand turns into something like Hellboy? That'd be pretty badass.
Yeah.
yeah, it's not though. But okay.
Because how they stopped it with
It's not,
her
though.
face. Hey, I'm just saying. I'm trying
So-
to keep positive for him.
Let's make a little prediction. Do you guys think that Jorah will become a full-fledged stone man and like live in Volantis? Is that what it is?
Yeah, Volantis.
Well,
no, not Volantis. It's Valeria.
Valeria. Or will he get killed by some other circumstance before that ever happens? Like in a battle.
Yeah, I think he's gonna die. And I have a very specific scenario for his death, but I don't want to like spoil anything. Possibly.
Okay. Then we won't go there.
Yeah.
Okay. So while Dany and Tyrion are talking, Dany makes this really cool analogy about a wheel.
Yeah. This was pretty badass.
Yeah, it was. This is like I'm surprised this didn't happen in the book because it seems like this is something that would be written in a book.
Yeah.
But she basically there's this wheel, metaphorical wheel with all the family names on it.
Oh yeah, because like Tyrion was like talking about all the different houses and like how she needs the support of the different houses and how they won't support her, but then she's like, they're just spokes on a wheel.
Yeah, and as the wheel rotates, then the family on top is always changing.
Yep.
And Tyrion's like, well, how are you going to stop the wheel? And she's like, I'm not going to stop the wheel. I'm going to break it.
Break the motherfucking wheel.
Which was such a cool line.
Yeah, it sounds like she would just like totally just get rid of all the houses. It'd just be like just have like one. Like, just rule
Something,
everything. Just like yeah.
It's interesting. It reminds me of Naruto. Because in Naruto, there was a cycle of hatred, and Naruto broke the cycle.
He didn't stop the wheel. He broke it.
He broke it. I think that's all we have from them in this episode.
These two scenes were like, we'll talk about Jon Snow later, but had that not happened with Jon Snow, these scenes would have made the episode amazing in and of itself.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
So-
they were
They were so well done.
great scenes. Okay, so next we have Cersei, who is in a bit of a predicament.
Pickle here.
Yay.
I think it was last episode that she was thrown into the prison, and I was so happy because
laughing.
I saw it coming, and I was like, "You deserve this," because she pretty much made the High Sparrow a powerful character, and now he is imprisoning her for incest.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks because she doesn't have any wine in this one. Oh, too bad for her.
And
This might be the first episode that she's been in that she doesn't drink wine
really,
in the whole season. I mean, the whole series, baby.
and also the most like disheveled that she's ever looked.
But like, I want to like actually now go and try to see if she's drinking wine in every other episode, but this one.
Just count all the
Yeah.
times. So this does happen in the book.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess I at the beginning I didn't understand, at the beginning of the season, I didn't understand the High Sparrow's role, but I kind of get it now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so I guess she'll be set free if she confesses,
Yes.
but she's too prideful to do that.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't want to admit that she fucked her brother.
Well, because if she does, then Tommen is not the king.
Right. That's true. And I don't remember when it was in the episode, but Tommen was brought up about how his wife and his mom are both in prison, and he's like depressed now.
Yeah.
He won't come out of his room.
Yeah, it was Qyburn.
Qyburn comes in and tells her this, and I think that's concerning because I wonder if like he'll commit suicide or he'll just kind of get dethroned because he's not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not good that he's just shutting down.
Why is it that he can't get them out, though?
Exactly. I don't know.
He could just send in.
He's the king.
Yeah, he could send in the city guard, and he could just free them.
Yeah.
But he's not.
Right,
'cause
exactly.
He doesn't want to have bloodshed.
Yeah. Which is why I think.
Pussy.
I mean, don't be like
Well, not
Joffrey,
Joffrey, but
yeah,
still, just
but
like-
still, keep your pip hand strong.
Yeah.
Because right now, the High Sparrow's just like, I can do what I want now. I can lock whoever I want up.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see where this storyline goes because it seems to not be working out for anybody but the High Sparrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then as Qyburn leaves, he says something very interesting. Do you remember verbatim what he says?
No, I don't.
Okay.
What
He says something like
the work.
I just wrote the work continues
Yes.
or something like that. Something very vague that implies that he's working on something that Cersei knows about and that it's going well. And we assume that it's the mountain,
It's Franken Mountain. Yeah.
Franken Mountain.
Maybe Frankenmountain breaks her out.
That'd be great.
Yeah. So okay, in the books, it's a little different because at this point in the books, he's already walking around. Like in the books,
The mountain?
the mountain, but he's called Sir Robert Strong, and he's only in he's part of the King's Guard. And he's only in. He's only ever seen in his armor.
Uh-huh.
No one's ever seen him outside of his armor,
Oh.
and no one's ever seen him like take a piss or eat or anything.
Oh.
So
He has a claw
So you're
finger.
hoping like in the show that they'll actually show him,
Yeah.
and not just in the armor.
Do you think
Yeah.
they might show him in episode 9?
I'm thinking
9 or 10?
my
hopefully.
my prediction is
Good guess. No.
so if it follows the books, there'll be Cersei will do something. I won't.
Okay.
I won't say, and then she'll ask for trial by combat.
Okay.
And I think the end of season 10 will be like, here's my champion,
Yeah.
Franken Mountain.
Okay.
And that's the end?
That's my prediction.
That there's not going to be a fight, it's just going to...
Yeah, no fight yet.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
You better not... God, that would suck if you were writing it.
No.
No.
I don't know. I think that's pretty cool.
That's where you just...
I think that's a pretty cool way to end this.
Well, that'd be
to end the
cool.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, imagine if this episode was the season finale.
Oh,
The way it ended.
it seemed like it would. I'm going to open this.
Yeah.
There we go.
Come at me, Crow.
Come at me, Crow.
So that's all we have from
Yeah,
Cersei.
That was like,
Next is
You
Arya.
should make that the. You should make
Yes.
that the title.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Arya, her story keeps getting more and more interesting because now she's actually making progress. That smells terrible.
It's really good, actually.
It smells like piss.
Your piss smells like a...
It smells pretty good.
You
Actually.
can taste it. Taste it. It's good.
Nah.
You want some?
It doesn't actually taste that bad. Or smell that bad. Okay, Arya. She is with Jaqen Hagar.
Jaqen Hagar. Or
and
a man.
A man, yes. And so, yeah, should we just say a girl? A girl is with a man.
Yeah. A girl with, yeah, not even. It's a girl with a man.
And they're playing the game of faces, which is basically where one person kind of makes up a backstory while the other person hits them with a stick every time they're lying.
Yeah.
Every time they can tell that they're lying.
Yeah.
And the last time Arya did this, she was telling a true story, but she was changing little details, and every detail that she changed, she got hit.
Yeah.
She was telling her own story.
Yeah.
And she would change little things and get hit. This time she's making up something completely different.
No, she's not. This actually happens.
Yeah. I didn't realize until halfway through that this is happening.
Oh, okay.
But the story that she's made up is not her actual backstory. It's like it's a made up character that she has now become. So she's like
she's getting a lot smarter.
Yeah. She's like a clams seller.
Yeah.
Oyster.
Also, let's back up a second. What was with the Hall of Faces?
From the last episode?
Yeah.
That's how they get their faces.
I figured. So I guess
that's Leatherface's inventory.
That's where
right
the faces come from, the dead bodies
Yeah.
that they clean off from the people that come in to get killed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Well, then
Pretty fucking metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then they return the bodies, though, right? Or do they just bury them, or...
We don't know. We don't know, actually.
Maybe the faces are molds, like really realistic molds.
Yeah, possibly.
I hope that's it, dude. That would just be fucked up. They're just like...
Well, how else
I mean, there's some magic involved in this.
Okay.
So obviously, there's like...
Expelliarmus.
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of strange.
Magic, and you go straight for Harry Potter.
Hell yeah.
So she is now a little girl that sells clams,
Oysters,
and
She's claims too.
she saved up and she bought a wagon, and she takes the wagon down to the dock, and she meets this dude, who's trying to rip some guy off.
A sailor.
And so I guess her mission now is to kill this guy. Give him a clam or an oyster with some poison in it.
It's some of that water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was...
Okay. So
okay, I want to get you guys' opinion. Do you think Arya's story is taking place concurrently with everything else?
Oh.
Well, yeah, I mean, we have to think that, but... I mean, considering book 5 and 4 take place at the same time, then who knows?
Yeah.
I would think so.
But how long do you think this is taking?
I don't know. It could... I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
it could be a short amount of time, and she could show up, like... Before we even realize that she's done with her training, she could show up somewhere else doing something.
So this could probably be a year or a couple years before.
Yeah.
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 That's what I'm thinking.
It could
Because she's getting trained right now, and then the next time we see her, she's probably like full on trained, and
Yeah. I'm just kind of...
and then she's a little black man that's running around.
Because to me, time has always seemed kind of muddled in this universe.
Yeah.
From reading the books and watching the show, so people have theories about
Because
timelines.
Yeah,
and especially because Brandon's not even in this episode,
Yeah.
so when next season starts, it's going to be like nothing, no time passed.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Just something to think about.
Yeah.
Right.
So I could see her showing up like full-fledged assassin mode, doing something crazy.
Yeah.
Killing
because like
Cersei.
Sansa and when they were in the carriage,
Mm-hmm.
and then
then they were in the bar.
yeah, they were in the bar, and it's just like you see them riding down, and you're just like, yeah, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
were they supposed to be in the scene, or is this a blooper? You know? Oh god, we're not supposed to be here.
Game of Thrones. So Arya, we're gonna see more of her next episode. Probably killing this dude, and that'll be cool. She's not perfect yet at the Game of Faces because she did get hit a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It's a lot better than the previous one, though.
She should get a spin-off show called Game of Faces.
Game
No.
of Faces.
If George R. R. Martin's listening,
George
Did you guys
Martin.
Did you guys hear about Celebrity Family Feud?
No.
It's a thing. It's starting. There's like 6 episodes.
oh, that's pretty
Oh,
cool.
damn.
6 new episodes.
I mean, they've had Celebrity Family Feuds before.
Yeah, but not with Steve Harvey.
No, was Harvey?
No,
Oh.
No.
I don't think. Anyway,
Yeah. But the Game of Thrones with the one with Tyrion singing about all the people who died and how he's still around.
oh that
was awesome.
Red Nose Day.
Yeah, Red Nose Day.
Yeah.
That was funny. Except it was totally spoilery.
I know, right? So there's a kind of there's a SNL sketch called Game of Thrones, and I suggest you guys watch it.
Okay.
Because it's really, really funny.
Okay.
With Zach Galifianakis.
Oh, nice.
What?
Yeah.
Playing who? Playing himself.
No, it's like a Jeopardy show, but of Game of Thrones trivia.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
How well did you do?
Oh, I got every question. I was like that.
I might have seen that, but I probably hadn't seen Game of Thrones at the time, and it
Okay.
probably didn't get it, so I'll have to rewatch
Yeah.
that. Okay, so next we have Sansa and Ramsay, which their relationship is facing a bit of controversy lately.
It's just now.
I don't think we really need to talk about that, but
Yeah.
The whole.
Anyway, they got married, and
consummated.
yeah, that happened.
Man.
So, in a previous episode, she had told Reek to light a candle in the tallest tower, which is basically like a SOS signal to the people in the north that are still loyal to the Starks.
Well, you have to Brienne to come get her.
Yes. And Reek went to Ramsay and told him.
Yeah.
Because he's Reek.
Bitch.
So she's mad at him for that.
Well, and because she thinks that he killed her.
And
Yeah.
because she thinks that he killed her brothers. So they get into a little tussle, and she calls him Theon repeatedly, and he's like, "No, I'm Reek." Reek. And then he reveals that he did not kill her brothers. And she's like totally shocked, and then he's like, "I shouldn't have told you that," and then he leaves.
Because that fucks everything up from like Littlefinger and his plans and Bolton's plans. Yeah, because if Bran and Rickon stole it, they have the better claim over Sansa and her wife, her husband.
Yeah,
So.
you're right. That's awesome. So this doesn't happen in the books.
No, in the books,
Because
In the books, you said it cut off right.
yeah, as in last season when Sansa's like walking down the stairs in the Eyrie, that's where it ends.
Yeah.
For her. In the books, Ramsay marries a fake
Yeah.
Sansa,
So in the book, Sansa doesn't know that her brothers are
Right.
alive.
Right.
Okay.
but she's also not married to Ramsay.
Right. So that's a big deal. And then Ramsay and Stannis, or why did I write Stannis? Ramsay and his dad
Yeah.
Bruce.
are, Roose Bolton, are planning for Stannis' attack, because I guess they know that he's coming, which, I mean, it's kind of obvious. And Ramsay says he only needs 20 good men.
Yeah, we'll see.
But he says it with such a creepy
I know.
face, though. He's
I
like,
know.
I just need 20 good men.
He's such a prick. I'm really hoping that he dies.
He reminds me of, like, a hobbit a little bit. Like how his face looks, like a
I
creepy
guess.
hobbit.
I guess. He does have a weird
yeah.
face.
So, is he worse than Joffrey?
You know, I was thinking that the other day. I was like, he might be worse than Joffrey because he's more of a psychopath. Joffrey.
Yeah, but what he did to that prostitute, though,
Okay.
fucking arrow.
Okay, well,
Didn't skin her alive, though.
ponder this.
Yeah, he's worse.
Would Joffrey do to Theon what Ramsay did to Theon?
No, he would have just killed him.
He would have just killed him.
Yeah.
Right, so Ramsay's worse
Ramsay's
than
worse.
Joffrey.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. Like, we all hated Joffrey, they killed Joffrey, and then we have Ramsay.
Yeah.
Well, we should also let the listeners vote on who's worse, too.
Yes, okay.
Is there a way we can put a poll on it?
I don't think so, but just, like, tweet at
just comment us.
Yeah, comment or tweet at media_maniacs with who you think is worse, Ramsey or
and then we'll announce
Joffrey.
the results.
If we get any tweets
or ravens.
Send us a raven. Yep.
Okay, and that's all from them. Now I'm remembering a scene where Sansa and Ramsey went walking. That was in this episode.
The last episode.
That was the last episode?
Yeah.
Okay. They went on a walk, and that was kind of creepy.
Yep.
Okay, so...
Let's get into this now.
Now
I
we...
like how you're...
Jon Snee.
Let's talk about this now.
Okay, well, before we get there, we do have to talk about Gilly and Sam.
Oh, man.
Well, from last episode,
Yeah.
yes, they had sex.
Yeah.
Does that happen in the books?
No.
Okay. So Sam
Sam
has lost his virginity.
Maybe it does. Okay. No, because they're in a totally different thing in the books. Like they're. I don't know what's going on with them.
Okay. So yeah, Sam and Gilly are just kind of hanging out. Sam got beat up the last episode. So Gilly is cleaning him up. Yeah.
In more ways than one.
Yeah. And then Ollie comes in and he wants to talk to Sam because he still doesn't agree with Jon's decision to join forces with the Wildlings.
Yeah.
Even though Jon explained to him that we need the Wildlings because if we don't ally with them, then they will all get killed and turn into the army of the dead. So Sam explains to Ollie again why Jon did it, and Ollie still isn't very convinced because
he's a little kid.
Well, yeah, because he's a little kid and he watched his entire village
Yeah.
get killed by the Wildlings.
Yeah,
So.
that's so fucked.
And we know that he's kind of a bit of a loose cannon wild card.
Wild card, bitch.
Because he killed Ygritte, which I guess, I mean, she was a wildling, so.
Yeah.
But
He's trying to save. He thought he was saving Jon. Like he didn't.
I'm worried that he's gonna kill someone that he shouldn't kill. And in fact, in this scene, I felt like he was gonna kill Sam, and that worried me. All right. So then we cut to Jon. He's on a boat.
Boats and hoses.
I'm on a boat,
motherfucker.
and he does not have his flippy floppies, but I don't think he needs them.
No, you don't flip floppies at Hardhome.
So they get to Hardhome, and he's with the wildling dude. What's his name?
Tormund Giantsbane.
Okay, Tormund. And they... Who's the guy with the skull mask?
The Lord of Bones.
We've seen him before.
Yes.
So Lord of Bones comes up and he's like... he's really cocky.
Yeah.
and then...
He gets his shit fucked up.
Tormund just like takes his staff and beats the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And,
Well, because he's like tapping him, and then he's just like, mine.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he just walks up.
It's like, gather the elders. We must talk.
And
Yeah.
then everyone just like splits, and he's just like, do, 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 do.
Yeah, so he kills the
Lord
dude,
of
and
Bones.
he's like, what is he, like the leader of the Lord of Bones? Is he?
He's of his clan. He is.
Okay.
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. So they gather the elders, whoever they are. One of them is the German girl from Pitch Perfect 2.
Das Sun Machine.
And they basically like negotiate this deal to join forces with the Night's Watch. So Jon says that they can come down, they can have farmland, they can farm, they can live there, be fine, but then they need to fight the battle when the battle comes.
Yep. And I think this might have been Jon Snow's best scene.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
So, like, we've talked about this before. Kit Harington gets a bad rap online of being a bad actor, but he killed it here.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was awesome.
See, and I think with that, they beefed up his monologue a little bit more to prove that.
Yeah.
Because Because that's not the Jon Snow from the past.
Nope.
No, he's grown up. He's no Jon Snow.
He's Lord Commander Jon Snow.
Exactly.
And so every tribe except for the Thens agrees with him.
The Thens are the ones with the self-inflicted scars.
Yeah.
That murdered all of Ollie's village. Yeah, the cannibals.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's not surprising to me that they didn't.
They're hated even within the wildlings.
Yeah.
Like, she goes, I fucking hate thens.
Yeah.
Then, Then there was the giant.
And then,
That guy.
Okay, that was funny. When the one Night's Watch dude looks at him and he's just
what the fuck are you looking at?
But in giant speak, yes.
Yeah, right. That was funny.
I think I said this before, but giants are vegetarians.
Yes, you have.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
I forgot that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna come back to the giants because I have a question about them.
Okay.
So then they're all getting ready to get into the boats and leave the Then people behind, and then there's like some rumbling and an avalanche.
Yeah.
Or was it an avalanche?
No.
It was like a blizzard.
It's
It was like a
blizzard.
magical blizzard storm.
Magic blizzard, yes.
And
Magical blizzard time.
everyone starts screaming, and they're rushing people onto the boats.
And then they close the gate off.
Yeah, and they start closing this gate.
This one got creepy though.
Yeah. So apparently this was some sort of magic spell cast by the White Walkers because it killed everyone and brought them back to life as the Army of the Dead.
Right.
Yep.
Well, how it did it was the gate was closed.
Yeah.
And they're looking through the hole. Mm-hmm. Because it was like screaming, help us! And
Yeah,
then
and
it
then
just goes
Let's stop.
like that, and you just hear the wind. He looks up, and then all these people just running, and oh my gosh.
And they're like breaking through
Yep.
the wall, and they all look freaky, and they're moving freaky. Some of them look like skeletons.
Yeah. Sort of reminded me of
The Walking
Pirates
Dead.
of the Caribbean.
Okay.
When
I
they-
was thinking
in
of
the
The Walking
moonlight.
Dead.
Yeah.
Walking Dead too.
Moonlight, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the skeleton one, there are really, really dead people. Like, they've been dead a long time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, the fresher you are, you're going to have more
Yeah.
body
More-
parts.
Yeah.
Running without a limb.
So this like entire sequence is so amazing and
Yes.
crazy and
Yeah.
intricate.
Yeah.
They said this was the hardest battle
I bet
they had to...
This was the best scene
ever.
on the show. This is the best episode ever.
Yes.
In my opinion,
Yes.
this is the best episode
I
ever.
agree.
This is the best scene ever on the show.
Yes. I last I checked on IMDb, it has a rating of 9.9, which is the highest rating any episode has ever gotten. I'm double checking that right now. If my Wi-Fi works.
I can look it up.
9. Oh wait, that's the show. The show has a 9.5.
Hey, that's good.
Episode 8 still has a 9.9.
How many?
How many people voted?
22,000, so that's
20
2,000 more than yesterday.
Jeez.
But 778,000 have voted on Game of Thrones entirely.
Mm-hmm. So this was clearly a very good episode and a very good scene. Recalling it play by play is a little bit difficult, but it was complete chaos. John is closer to the boats for the majority of the time, but he does end up leaving and doing some awesome stuff, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But the Army of the Dead break through the wall, and like the giant's there, and he's stomping on guys, and
I know they're climbing him, and he's just like taking them off and just throwing them, like they're just pieces of hay.
Yeah, and it's just like all out war between the dead and the living. And then they see 4 White Walkers on horses up in the distance, which totally was a reference to the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
For sure.
Yeah. That's the only reason they put 4.
Yeah.
And then I guess one of them comes down because John goes after it.
Well, because they're trying to get the obsidian daggers that they brought with them.
Yes. So they have the dragon glass, but it's in the hut that they were doing the meeting in.
Yeah.
So John has to run in there to get it.
With the Then.
Yes. And it's the whole thing's on fire.
Yep.
They're looking for it. The White Walker walks in, and the fire dissipates around him because he's so cold.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. The Then dude is like, you go look for the glass, I'll fight him.
Yeah.
Which was very honorable of him.
Didn't last too long.
And what happened to him?
Well, the White Walker had some crazy ass spear.
Yeah.
That it touched Then's axe and just shattered it.
Yep. And then stabbed him and shattered him.
Yep.
Or did he shatter?
No, he didn't shatter. No,
he just died.
Because they want to keep them
You're right.
alive, but not like
intact.
Intact. There you go.
Yeah. So it was so cool to see him swing and break the axe like that because, like, does that just mean that his staff is magical, or that it's so cold that it freezes and shatters anything?
I think it's magic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So John's looking for the dragon glass, can't find it, and he starts getting beat up by this White Walker.
Yeah.
And it's really intense because I'm like, they can't kill John, can they?
Yeah. I'm like, the whole time I'm thinking, this better not be how he goes.
I know. And like he gets up onto the roof somehow and gets knocked back down, and the White Walker just jumps down, and John's eventually like, screw this, I'm going to grab my sword. Which is made of Valyrium steel, or so we think.
Yeah, it is. Double confirmed.
Okay. And so he goes to fight the White Walker with his sword.
Yeah.
They swing, and they clash blades.
Yep.
His sword does not shatter.
Yeah. And the White Walker's like, what?
He's like, what? I screamed. I was squirming on my couch.
I was like cheering. I was like, yes!
Yeah. So let's talk about that for a second. Did we know that Valyrium steel can?
So there are theories, because to make the steel, or how they made the steel in the past is you needed dragon fire to melt the metal down.
Okay, so then we're thinking like dragons.
Yeah. So
are the enemy of White Walkers.
Yeah, because with dragon glass being obsidian, the same kind of properties with that. Somehow, so I think dragon fire being so hot that
I'm seeing a parallel here with the name of the series, A Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so they clash blades, and then like John's also really surprised, and he takes advantage of the moment that the White Walker is like confused, and he slashes at him, and he shatters.
The guy shatters.
Which was so cool. Yeah. Because in the past we've only seen Sam kill a White Walker with dragon glass, and now we know that Valyrium steel, for the reasons that we just talked about, can also kill the White Walkers. Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy awesome.
Yeah.
So what we only know of 2 other Valyrium steel blades
in the show. Let's see.
There's Oathkeeper, and
Brienne has one,
and Jaime.
And Jaime.
No, Jaime gave it to
Brienne. Tommen has the other one. Because Ned had one great sword, and then that was broken down into 2 smaller swords. That Brienne has one. Joffrey had the other one, so I'm assuming that Tommen has that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sam's dad has one.
Okay.
In the book, in books anyways. In the books, a couple of people, I think 3 of them on Pike, which is where Theon's from. There are 3 families that have swords. The Lannisters had one, but it got stolen in the past, like a long time ago. So that's somewhere.
Okay.
The dagger that the assassin tried to kill Bran with is a Valyrian dagger.
Oh, okay. Do we know where that went?
No, we don't.
Okay.
No. Littlefinger had it, so maybe it's still in his possession. And I think, and I was doing research on this, I think there are 2 others that are probably in Essos.
Okay.
That we know of.
Yeah.
There isn't a lot.
Yeah. So that's quite a revelation. So this whole battle is not in the books?
No. It's off
it
camera
happens,
in a way.
Yes.
Yeah. Jon sends ships to Hardhome to bring the wildlings over. Nothing was back. They get a raven that there was just a massacre there, that there's nobody left over there.
Yeah.
So,
which is really ominous.
Yeah, so we're kind of clued in that this happened, but Jon isn't there. So, yeah.
So, in the books, then, do we know that Valyrium steel can kill White Walkers?
Yeah, because that's how he killed the well, not necessarily White Walkers. No, because he killed 2 wraiths with his sword. But doesn't matter. I don't think we know.
Okay.
No.
Interesting. I would assume they didn't just make it up. It'll probably be something that's in book 6, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. That's why I think that the dragon fire kind of works in that.
Yeah.
In that reasoning.
So John kills the White Walker, which is totally awesome, and then I don't know. People keep dying. The one girl from Pitch Perfect 2 dies.
Yeah.
Well,
she gets eaten by kids.
Oh my god, that was.
I thought they were Craster's kids.
Oh.
That was my theory, but I'm starting to think that maybe not so much. Maybe they actually become White Walkers, not wraiths.
Yeah, I think that was heavily implied.
Well, she gave up.
Well, she didn't want to kill kids.
Yeah.
Run.
Well, where's she gonna fucking go?
Anywhere.
That was kind of sad.
Yeah.
But
She's.
So then everyone just kind of rushes to the boats because they realize that this isn't going to go well.
Yeah.
It already isn't going well. Yeah. And they all get into the boats. The giant walks into the water because he's like walking to the shore, and I'm like, he's not going to fit in a boat.
Yeah. Well, he's keeping all the White Walkers back.
Oh yeah, with some fire.
Yeah, like a fire pole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then he just like walks in the water.
So can he just swim, or does it not get deep enough?
You'll probably stay close to the shore and be able to walk on the shore, probably.
Okay.
And swim probably for a bit too.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to come back to with the giant. It's like, how is he gonna get across the water?
I mean, swim, probably.
Okay.
Well, he could probably hold onto a boat.
No, he'd pull it down.
A big boat, because they had huge ships. Did you see the ships?
Oh no, I didn't. Okay.
So they have Stannis' fleet.
Okay.
They're that's how they're using they're not using the little dinghies to transport everyone.
Okay.
They're using the little boats to get to the big ships out in the water.
Okay.
So he could hold on to one of the big ships, probably.
Yep, probably. Okay. And then the 3 remaining White Walkers come down from the mountain.
But we only see the king.
Okay. We see the king, who we have seen in the past with the baby at the altar.
Yeah.
He's got horns on his head that make it look like a crown.
Yeah. It's called the Night's King.
Yes.
The Night's King.
The Night's King, not Knight, but night as in nighttime.
Yes.
So he's kind of badass.
Yeah.
And he's got some cool looking armor.
Yeah, they all do. They have the kind of like Asian looking armor. Like, to me, it looked like
samurai.
Not quite. Yeah, kind of, little samurai kind of, but more like Mongol kind of armor. Yeah.
Definitely some kind of foreign type armor. And their eyes are super cool looking.
Yeah. So, is this guy now the main villain?
Yes.
Okay. So he's more so than Ramsay, more so than...
That's the great thing I like about this show is that like it's a great political kind of show and about war and kings, but I mean really the main enemy is the White Walkers.
Yeah.
Right.
And none of the stuff that's going on with the Battle of the Five Kings matters at all.
Yeah.
Compared to what's coming.
So the main villain of the show has been in 2 episodes.
That makes him cool.
But I mean, what other show does that? What other show is your main villain of the entire series
in 2 episodes?
In 2 out of... See, so this is out of 48 episodes. He's been in 2 of them.
It's pretty bad.
A badass villain.
For a total of maybe 10... Maybe 10.
At
10
most.
is stretching it.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's pretty cool. I wonder if, like, the last season, if we'll probably see a lot more of the White Walkers, but I wonder if it'll be like an episodic thing, like every single episode we'll see him specifically, or just White Walkers in general. Sounds expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like they have not made enough money on it.
Yeah, right. So he's standing at the dock.
Yeah.
And he locks eyes with John.
Yeah.
Which
man.
also shows, like, it shows a bit of intelligence for... I mean, obviously the White Walkers are intelligent, but he knows that John is, like, the leader. He's the guy that he wants to go after. Because he locks eyes with John. And he just...
Raises his arms.
Just like... At first, like, I thought it was like,
That's what
like what? Like,
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
on. Like,
What up?
Like, you didn't do shit.
Right.
But
or,
no.
or I thought he was
no.
gonna like raise an avalanche or something,
Yeah.
It's like-
or do something crazy.
Oh, no.
But
But he's like, look what I can do.
yep. And
And every wildling that died stands up,
Yep.
and he's doubled his army.
yep,
Yep.
it's terrifying.
Come at me, bro.
Like, and then it pans out, and you see, because in the very beginning it had panned out when they were coming in,
Yeah.
and you saw all the people there,
Yeah.
and now you see all of them, and they're all dead.
Yep. Yeah. It's fucking insane.
It is. It's crazy. I don't know how they're gonna fight that army unless they get dragons, which I would hope that they.
I think that is the end game. Is that Danny comes over with the like the walkers are about to win. Danny kind of rides in with the dragons and just fires.
What's up,
Yeah.
bitches?
Yeah.
That's kind of like my theory for how the whole series ends.
What if there are ice dragons that the White Walkers have?
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Like you can bring dead horses back, right?
Like,
Mm-hmm. What if that's where the dragons
oh my
went?
god. You might have broke me. I never even considered that.
That'd be
Ice
sick.
dragons.
Ice dragons.
Dude. But then how the fuck do they win? Like, or
They don't.
Maybe, like, maybe we this is George Railroad Martin. I mean, maybe we shouldn't even consider that everything's going to work out.
Right.
Maybe we should just assume that he ends the books, everyone's dead.
Yep. Or, you
I
know,
hope not.
even if they do have ice dragons and they come in and it looks like they're going to win, what if winter just suddenly ends? Like, does that defeat the White Walkers?
Maybe, because the last book is called A Dream of Spring.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. That's an interesting title.
Yeah. So the sixth book will be The Winds of Winter,
Uh-huh.
and the seventh, presumably the last book, is called A Dream of Spring.
Okay, so then let's talk about that. So winter can last
It,
hundreds of years.
it could last an infinite amount. Like, there is no set course for how long each season is.
Right. So this winter could last the duration of a battle.
Yeah.
Let's say that happens. And then spring comes, everyone's happy, it's all fine. Or winter could last hundreds of years this time, everyone dies, and the last book is like hundreds of years later, and it's like the ancestors of everyone talking about what happened in the past.
Dude. You're tripping my balls, man.
And then you see like all these parallels with the end of the book from the beginning of the book, like similar characters, and it's like a cycle that it just keeps going. It's a wheel.
It's a wheel.
It's a circle.
Yeah,
Never break the wheel. Dude.
that'd be intense.
Let's get on Reddit and talk about this shit.
Yeah. And the episode just kind of ends there
Yeah.
with the night.
Was
king.
there music at the end?
I don't remember. Probably not. I was too shocked.
Yeah.
In awe.
Yeah. It was pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah. And so episode 9 of every season is usually like this caliber
Yeah.
of an episode.
I
and
think 9 is when we're going to see the mountain.
Franken Mountain?
I think definitely we're gonna see Stannis fight Roose. We didn't see them, I don't think, at all in the preview.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of the other characters, and I would like to think that all of those scenes that were shown in the preview are all going to happen in like the first 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And then the last 40 minutes is just
yeah.
going to be war.
Yeah.
Because that's coming, and it should happen in episode 9.
We'll see. They kind of bucked the trend, though.
Yeah, you're right.
But, man, just... I do think this was the best episode of the entire series.
Yeah. And the only thing that was in the book was Arya and Cersei's story.
Yeah.
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 So that's pretty
Yeah.
awesome that they've either taken content from the next book,
Yes.
or
Which is very possible.
which is possible, or they've done that and
Not with Jon Snow, but
right.
with Tyrion and Dany. Yeah.
So they have 2 more books?
Yep.
Like, that's what...
Unless he splits them up again.
Because so it was originally supposed to just be 2 trilogy. It was originally supposed to be 1 trilogy. Then it sold so well, he's like, okay, I'll write more. And then it was supposed to be another trilogy. He's like, oh shit, I gotta separate this one book so then it's 7.
Oh, okay.
books.
So you think only 2 more seasons, you think?
2 or 3.
Because this season takes place over books 4 and 5, presumably with some book 6. So I think the next season will be book 6, and then 2.
Depressing.
2. Maybe I could see them stretching out to an 8th season.
Yeah.
Just make it a 2-parter.
I recall in this episode that someone said a feast for crows.
Yeah, I think it was Roos was talking about like why to be out there and be a feast or something. Something
about a lot of people dying and leaving a feast for crows, which is the name of the fourth book. Yeah.
And the episode title for the next episode is A Dance with Dragons, which is the title of the 5th book.
Right. So some interesting word plays going on here. I thought it was interesting the context in which he used a feast for crows, because I had just always thought of it as like the crows, the Night's Watch.
Yeah.
Not necessarily having a feast,
right.
but like
just maybe killing a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, right. But a feast for crows could also just mean like a massacre.
Yeah, just a literal.
That crows come and feast on. So that's interesting. If the next episode is called A Dance with Dragons, are we going to see dragons?
I have a prediction of what's going to happen. I'll tell you guys later if you want to hear it, but I don't want to.
Okay.
Because it could potentially spoil the next episode.
Okay, so we've pretty much covered everything in the episode, and we're about 50 minutes in, so looks like a good place to stop.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, so if you liked this podcast, give it a like on YouTube or whatever.
Share it,
and subscribe.
Comment it,
And comment, tell us who is worse, Ramsay or Joffrey. You can follow us on Twitter at media_maniacs, and you can follow me on Twitter at B_real11, the number not spelled out.
And I am at Chadillac508, the number not spelled out.
And I'm at Mike_97219. Of course, that's the numbers not spelled out.
Now we're all doing it. Facebook.com/MediaManiacsLP. You're already on our YouTube channel, most likely, so subscribe to that.
For more of our awesome goodness.
Yes, it's been fun. We're going to be putting up a new Maniac Attack episode 7-6 something shortly.
6.
So go check that out as well. And
We should have a Mario Kart.
And we have a year thank you video because we've been making content for a year. So go watch that and then comment or just tweet at us what you want to see more of us, more from us. Okay, thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Send the Ravens.